in the same line, if say for example for those abroad, right? I'm trying to get a visa for the World Cup. I would be in the same line as a person trying to just visit Disney World.
Yeah, yeah.
And apparently, it's actually one of the reasons why fans from outside of the U.S. aren't being given that special priority, because Disney World will be complaining, well, how come people that want to come just to Disney World don't get special access or special priority in the line?
Bro, because
So
you're not the biggest sporting event in the history of the world.
exactamente, man.
All right, guys, I'm here with Danny from TravelFutbolFan. He's helping put money back in your pocket, giving you all the insights for the 2026 World Cup here in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. He had the privilege to go to the 2022 World Cup. He has a lot of history. He has a lot of experience. He knows a lot about saving money, using credit cards to take you to the World Cup, get you far. 45,000 followers on TikTok, growing his YouTube, growing his Instagram. So make sure to follow him. Thank you, Danny, for coming back to the Hard to Handle Sports podcast. How you doing, my boy?
Hey, man, I'm good. Life is good. 500 days to go today. So
Yeah.
ahora empezó la carrera. Like the race has started now. Like if it didn't hit you, we were doing all this soccer stuff.
Yeah.
Today is the day.
We're in the business end. We're in the business end of it. Yeah. So yeah, let's get started. You're wearing your Colombia jersey. Qualifiers going on right now. Like you said, 500 days till the World Cup. How you feeling as a Colombian, as an American? How are these 500 days hitting you today?
Yeah, I mean, una cosa rara. Today's is a little bit weird just because of like the diplomatic stuff that was happening. Because I live in DC, so like like you're gonna be aware of like the politics and all that stuff's going on. So the fact that the U.S. and Colombia decided to scrap it for 24 hours was just odd, right? It's weird. Like I was born here, so Colombiano. Like who the hell I cheer for that type of sitch?
Exactly.
But no, I mean beyond that, in terms of like the teams, the U.S. Pochettino seems to be getting the boys playing a certain style, and they seem to be doing well. Outside of that, the boys in Europe, they seem to be playing really well. Pulisic, end of the day with AC Milan, he's doing fantastic there. McKennie, kind of almost like year in, year out, he's like having to say like, yo, Juve, like I'm good. And
I'm good. Yeah. Don't put me on these transfer rumors.
Yeah, like every single summer transfer rumor.
Yeah.
Interesting that Weah's with him there now too. Like interesting. Italy's picking up all these Americans. I know Tyler Adams has been playing with Bournemouth, and Bournemouth has been doing very good too. So, and Jedi at Fulham, like fantastic. He's been playing great there too.
A lot of Americans are like, let's start the World Cup this year, man. Like, who knows how they're going to be?
You think about that, right? Because they are playing really well. They're healthy. There's not really any major injuries for the team. Yeah, why not, right? I definitely think like this would have been a perfect year to have the World Cup in the U.S.
Yeah.
Y para Colombia, pues, they ended the 2024 in a bit of a low. They only won one of the last 4 games in the qualifiers.
Uruguay moved up.
Yeah, Uruguay moved up. Y como que no terminaron bien. It wasn't a good finish. It kind of seemed like they started towards the end there. Pero la realidad is that's why you win all those games at the beginning, or at least you go as undefeated for as long as you can in the South American eliminatorias. I'm not saying South American qualifiers, but son eliminatorias. That's what we call it. That's why you go undefeated for that long, because now, if you look at the point spread, Colombia really needs just 6 points out of the last 6 games.
Right.
So, and you do have the games to do it. Yeah, Paraguay at home, even though they're pretty scrappy and good.
Yeah,
I think it's Brazil away, Argentina away. Okay, those two are very no tanto, because Brazil hasn't really played too well. They just tied Uruguay. They lost to Argentina at home, so they tied Venezuela at home.
Yeah, they're beatable. They're for surely beatable.
Right. So Colombia could qualify at that home match versus Paraguay if they beat Brazil away. More than likely, it'll be in June when they host Peru. I'm looking at that game as the more likely tilt game for Colombia to get into the World Cup. But yeah, I think para los dos países, they're on track. Even with Colombia's recent like little mini struggle, that's why you build up all those points. Now you're giving yourself the opportunity to say, just win your home games. You win your home games, you're in. That's it.
You're good. And that Peru game, Peru might be done at that point.
Yeah.
Like they might have nothing to play for at that point, and it just makes it lose.
They barely have anything to play for
like,
now.
They're like
o sea, like they lose one more game at the last
and they're out. Exactly.
O sea, tendrían que buscarse el fútbol. The next 6 games and go undefeated.
Yeah, run the table. But there is a difference of having a little bit of hope and having no hope. Like you might not even get. You might even deny the call up. You're like, what's the point of getting called up?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's call up younger players.
Chile. Yeah, así está Chile. No, that it's like they're also almost out. No one's mathematically out yet because of that repechaje. I think that 7th place kind of weirdly enough, as a lot of people have been saying that's too many spots for Conmebol, but that 7th place has still made Chile have that little bit of hope yet.
Exactly.
Left,
yeah.
Which makes then Chile want to be competitive in the last 6 games.
Right.
Una cosa rara que you still have all 10 teams having to fight each other because even the 7th, even Chile could still squeak in.
Yep.
To the Intercontinental Playoff. O sea, están más por fuera que adentro. But it could still happen, which is the crazy part. Bolivia, Brazil, that last game, that last game in the World Cup qualifiers, Brazil has to go to Bolivia. If Brazil Brazil did what it had to do in November. It won those 2 games against Chile. ¿Quién era? Peru.
Yeah.
They won those 2 games to put themselves in position. That was October. November, They didn't beat Uruguay at home. And I forgot who they went away to beat. No, they lost to Paraguay. That's right. They lost to Paraguay and they tied Uruguay. So, o sea, te estoy diciendo, those 2 wins that they got versus Peru y Chile, que son los dos de abajo.
The bottom feeders, yeah.
Yeah, the 2 bottom feeders. That's the only reason Brazil's in 4th place.
Yeah, they was looking bad.
But they could still not be good.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's still kind of like they're there, but not really. If Colombia could collapse, I mean, sure, any of these countries could collapse. But realistically, I think you're looking at Argentina. They get in the next game. They're almost fully in. Uruguay, I think they're going to be a safe bet. Bielsa, I get it. That guy is I don't know how to describe him, but lo llaman el loco, ¿no?
Yeah. Send people forward. Yeah. We might get scored 4 on, but I'm gonna go try to score 5 on you.
But then the locker room, right? He's very much like, usted me van a escuchar a mí, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Very much a disciplinarian. I think they still go through. Colombia, they got the home games to do it. Home to Bolivia, home to Peru, home to Paraguay. You can't beat 2 of those 3, then you don't deserve to go to the World Cup at that point.
Right. That would be crazy. 2 World Cups in a row. I don't see it happening.
No. Y lo que tienen la oportunidad aquí en los Estados Unidos, no. What they did in Copa America here, like they saw the support that they'll have here.
Yeah. It was almost like every game was gonna feel like a home game for them in the World Cup.
Oh my goodness. It was
right?
I mean, I went to the one in the semifinal versus Uruguay in Charlotte.
Yeah.
That was a sea of yellow.
Yeah. Because you guys are a big country, unlike like Uruguay. I went to the Uruguay versus Brazil game in Vegas, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, pero o sea, like their fans also travel well.
Yeah. They definitely do. I'll say this though, to give props to the Conmebol, I don't agree when people say that there's too many spots for the Conmebol. I think almost everything is quality, and I don't know what the matchup is, but I think the qualifier plays like one of the weaker teams in Europe that didn't get in. So yeah. I would give any Conmebol team a chance that goes to the qualifier to have a chance to go through.
I agree, because then if you look at it with the European qualifiers, right? Like look at those groups and they're almost like a joke. And, like, you could easily pick who's gonna go to the World Cup just because of the strength of the teams versus the bottom feeders.
Yeah, exactly.
If anything, if they would do the World Cup qualifier like the Nations League, the UEFA Nations League, that would be more interesting.
Yeah,
because then you are putting countries like Germany versus France. All right, who makes it in the World Cup? That's more interesting to me. At least se pelean todos entre todos.
Yeah, but I guess they're thinking it like financially though. They don't want a France or Germany to not make it though. They're like, let's do the best we can do to get all of them to to the World Cup. ¿Sí o no?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
imagínate, tú te imaginas si Brasil llega a la final contra Bolivia, like they need to win that game. You don't think everyone in the
yeah. They're not gonna like maybe nudge the ref as he's going out. You know what you gotta do. You know, right? I don't gotta tell you, right? You know.
right? Like we're not letting Bolivia in. Like what? Like sorry to my Bolivianos.
No, yeah. It's just
like
the
it's
fact
no
of,
hate on you guys. But I will say this with Bolivia. Why didn't you guys start playing in El Alto from the very beginning?
Yeah, easy.
Juegan ahí.
Yeah, they should have been doing that forever.
Yeah, it's like that's your fortress. Go, like, take advantage of that, because then outside of that, you guys are not that good. But
exactly. The record is like it flips. It's completely different away than over there.
Yeah,
it's almost like Mexico and Azteca, even though that's not as much as a.
It's not as much as anymore.
Yeah, no, it's not no more, not no more.
Pues sí, pero entonces, esto es Conmebol, pero yo diría que con CONCACAF, that one's kind of wide open though. I don't know about you, man, but to me, it's Costa Rica, Panama, and then open field.
Yeah.
No sé qué tú dices.
Yeah, I feel that. But then I also not to talk shit on CONCACAF teams, but I feel like they should feel the pressure that this is the one that they need to make. But all of them would be like, I don't think they'll be super disappointed if they don't make it, and then if they squeak in, they'll be like over the moon. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I don't see anybody other than, like you said, Costa Rica, Panama making like a Cinderella Costa Rica run in the 2014 World Cup. But I mean, I would like to see as much as them, whoever goes to qualifiers, make some noise or something, get another spot for the CONCACAF.
Yeah.
I will say this. The World Cup is only going to keep getting bigger and bigger. Like at some point, they're going to join both of them. They're going to join the Conmebol. And because, like, I mean, how many more spots can they give Conmebol? You guys are what, 10 teams?
Pues sí, Conmebol solamente 10 equipos, and we got 6.5.
So if they want to give you guys more spots, then they gotta combine you guys with North America. Is what I'm thinking. Like they're gonna share the spots.
Yeah, but then
you can't have a qualifier.
Though, like
it does. No, that makes sense. But like right now they have what, 6 spots?
7 spots. I think it's 6 for CONCACAF, I believe.
No, but for Conmebol.
No, it says directo, and the other one, the repechaje number 7
and 17. So at some point, like it's just gonna be all of them automatically making it. So you can't keep going higher. You know what I mean?
No.
So they're gonna join them. It's coming. They're gonna join CONCACAF and Conmebol.
Más que todo sería por la Libertadores. That would be the reason to join. Not so much the World Cup, pero Libertadores would be the reason, because then that would be the only real way that you compete against Europe in terms of Champions League. Right. Is that then you combine these two federations. I get it. You have to deal with the aspect of the travel. No, that imagínate Vancouver having to go down all the way to play Colo-Colo.
Yeah.
Ese viaje tan tremendo.
Yeah.
But you're just going to have to organize it, because it's, I get it. Like in Europe, the farthest flight is what? Probably like Chelsea going to Kazakhstan. I think it's like the farthest flight that one of those teams has to do, all the way to Kazakhstan. And that, even then, if you put that line, it's still not. We are still a longer flight going to Chile from Vancouver than it is for them to do that. So I get that travels a lot, but you have to build it somehow in the schedule.
Right. Yeah. And it's like 2 different parts of the equator. It'll be like completely different weather too. It's a mess, but they have to do it.
Imagínate toda la locura ahí. Imagínate Boca Juniors viniendo a Inter Miami ahí, quemándose en el calor ahí. No. You're gonna be scared. Messi's gonna be like, hey, I told you guys.
Right. But like we said, Colombia, it looks like they're gonna make the World Cup. How do you see it? We're 500 days away. We're almost there. You got to start building the form. How do you see Colombia? I know we haven't had a official match in a while, but like, how are you feeling? Like Colombia didn't make the last World Cup. They did good in the Copa America last year. What are you looking at right now? Quarters, semis, get out of the group.
So for Colombia for the World Cup, and remember, we have an extra knockout round. So it's round of 16, quarter, semi, final. Yo creo que Colombia can make. Screw it, I'm gonna make the call. I think they can make semifinal.
Semis.
Y de ahí vamos. Y de ahí vamos. The biggest question para Colombia is, can they get that striker? Because I think the striker position is a little weak right now. Is Córdoba, who's a striker? I'm blanking out on his name, but Duran, who's the Aston Villa kid. Yo creo que he has to be given the spot full time moving forward. But even more important, I would say Diaz hasn't been as impactful in the last couple of games as he was before. Obviously, I would say a lot more is because James has allowed Diaz to not have to carry the team.
Yeah.
But I think you still want Diaz to carry the team a little bit more because James is going to get older, is getting older, and you're not always going to have his magic, give us that sweet pass to make the goal.
Exactly. And Father Time.
Yeah. So at some point, Diaz has to also kind of get the reins a little bit and bring the team back onto his shoulders. He doesn't mean he has to do it every game because that's impossible, right? It's impossible for him to do it every game. Every team is set up to cover him and cover James, perhaps. Or if James is not starting, then they try to neutralize them midfield with Rios y Arias. Mm-hmm. But they have, Lorenzo has to figure out, all right, these teams kind of figured us out now. What's the new strategy? How do we get Diaz open to be able for him to attack the ball more towards goal? I think those are the two questions para Colombia. If they're able to resolve those, look, man, we proved last year that we go toe-to-toe everybody, know, and I think that's why I say we can do semis. Maybe if I were to say, oh, yeah, we'll win the World Cup, that might be too much of a homer take, but realistically, we could do semis. And we'll have the home crowd here, too. That's going to be key.
That's what I was going to bring up right now. Like, as evidenced by the Copa America, there's a lot of Colombians here. There's a lot of Colombians. They're everywhere, man.
Nos van a deportar todos, bro.
Yeah. They can't. It's too much. They don't got the numbers for it. Nah. But yeah, every game in the World Cup for Colombia should feel like a home game. Like, can you imagine a small European team coming to, one of these huge American stadiums, 70,000 people, and 65,000 of them are Colombian?
No, imagínate eso. Put Slovenia in there. Make it England. Make it England.
Yeah,
and they're
even England. Even England will be like a little spooked. Like, what? Are we in Colombia right now?
Yeah, exactamente. And that's the thing, right? And I would say para cualquier país de Sudamérica, or de Latinoamérica for that matter, it's gonna feel 2026 is gonna feel a lot like 2014 Brazil, or like Costa Rica had that magical run in 2014. I think. If they're able to make it, they get their youngsters playing, better, and develop a little bit more. One of these other teams is going to make that type of run. I mean, it's obvious that Argentina is going to make that run. Cool. They're going to make that run, sure. If Brazil can get their act together, they'll make that run.
They're running out of time to get it together, man.
Uruguay is always kind of like, hit or miss. If they catch the stars, they'll go far. Pero cualquier equipo Latinoamérica is going to have that fan base here. And that's what's going to help carry them. If you kind of make a comparison between Qatar and this World Cup coming up, I think they're going to pick up an extra win for every group that a South American, the Latin American team is in. Like they're going to get an extra win because of the crowd.
Yeah, the home field is going to make a difference.
Yeah, Mexico's going to get three more points. Ecuador would have gotten 3 more points if they were playing in versus in that group in Qatar. They would have beat it. Yeah. Senegal. They would have beaten Senegal because of the home field. So I really do think that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like I said, home field advantage is like even against Brazil. I went to the Colombia-Brazil game for the Copa America, and Colombia, that was like 85-15 in that stadium. Colombia, it was insane.
I didn't think it was going to be 85-15. It was really that different.
Yeah, no, like I'm telling you, it was Colombia's home. Like it was, I barely saw any Brazilians. Even when they scored, it didn't get that loud. When Brazil scored, it was like even in the parking lot, walking up, it was all like Colombia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagínate.
But you brought up Qatar. I know you went to that World Cup and you've had great experiences. You talk about it on your TikTok. As we approach the World Cup, what are some differences that you're seeing? Like, we just have a new president. There's new laws going in place. There's a movement to get a lot of people out of the U.S. right now. It might be hard for people to get visas to come to the U.S. How was your experience getting a visa, getting into Qatar, traveling over there, and then any comparisons you have it to the process that we're going to see for fans that want to come to the World Cup next year?
Yeah, I think straight up, what Qatar did, and I didn't go to the one in Russia, but from other friends and other folks that did go to the Russia World Cup, it was much easier than what's going to be here in 26. A lot of people have the quick reaction of like, oh, that means we'll get more tickets. No, not necessarily. That doesn't, just because you have less fans from abroad coming here doesn't mean that there's going to be more tickets available to you, right?
Right.
That, and who's to say that you actually have the money to buy those tickets too, right? Yeah. But you're acting like if you got all the, unless you do have that stash.
Then buy me one too.
Right, buy me one too, right? But it's going to be a much more complicated World Cup. And even if, right, before people start saying like, oh, you just, don't like President Trump, this and that. True, I don't. But even without him, right, say if Harris would have won, it's still a problem of the U.S. government with the State Department not really treating the World Cup like a World Cup. Like you and I, we get super excited about the World Cup.
Yeah. They're like,
but the people that are in charge in those offices, they're like, it's like any other event. It's like any other.
Yeah. They're treating it like the F1 in Vegas. Like
they're not even treating it special. It's just like I'm in the same line. If, say, for example, for those abroad, right? I'm trying to get a visa for the World Cup. I would be in the same line as a person trying to just visit Disney World.
Yeah.
And apparently, it's actually one of the reasons why fans from outside of the U.S. aren't being given that special priority, because Disney World will be complaining, well, how come people that want to come just to Disney World don't get special access or special priority in the line?
Bro, because you're not the biggest sporting event in the history of the world.
Exactamente, hermano. So that's the thing. The people in charge in the State Department, and again, this is a problem that has gone back to 2018 when, funny enough, Trump was president then.
Yeah.
They didn't set the game plan, right? Like to try to simplify all the political stuff that happens here in D.C. Basically, they just didn't put the right people in the State Department that understand the importance, the gravity, the specialness of a World Cup. And they just kind of ran it as it's just like any other event. And so because of that, that's why we're having all of these issues with the visas, right? Los Colombianos, it takes them 600 days. How many days we got today?
500.
500. That means so if you're a Colombian, that's time we got it.
Good luck.
Yeah. You can't come here, at least the U.S. You better hope Colombia gets drawn in the group with Mexico or with the one with Canada.
Yeah. Damn. That's right? Tough.
So that's the crappy part of all this is that, we had since 2018 to organize these issue of the visas, to do all this and that. And both the Trump part 1 and now part 2 and Biden administrations messed this up. So this is una culpa, un autogol del gobierno americano. The American government really screwed this up. So it's both parties that I have to basically
of course. Yeah, and it also kind of highlights how soccer still has a lot of room to grow in the U.S. because if this was for some reason like a NFL or NBA event that was attracting the world over here, people would talk about it more. People would be like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." Or even the Olympics, I feel like we'll have an easier time.
And that's the thing. Even the Olympics is also a little bit like from what when I had with these conversations with folks. Yeah. Even that one isn't getting the special treatment. So
right.
I think overall, and this is again a lot of politics or like government talk here from DC. Yeah. But I think what a lot of people don't realize is that in Qatar and Russia, they had ministries of sport. And here there's no such position in the president's cabinet. There's no Department of Sports and Culture. Algo así.
Right. Yeah.
Todos los países de Latinoamérica, they have a ministry of Cultura o Deporte, algo así. No? In Europe as well. That would have been the type of department that would have maybe have better organized this World Cup.
would have flagged it. Would have been like, oh, let's take a look over here. Let's take a look over here.
Exactamente.
Damn. And us Latinos, or at least me personally, I procrastinate. So if I would have been needing a visa, I might have been cooked already. It's already too late, like you said, for Colombia.
And actually, for a lot of Latin American countries, it is going to be too late. I think Honduras se demora 500 días. I could be wrong, but I know there's several other Latin American countries that are 500, 200, like 300, like they're there. I think one of the fastest ones are Brazilians y Argentinos. So y'all good regardless.
I get to it though.
Right, but exactly. So I would get to it because then you have, unfortunately, now this I do have to blame Trump for. These deportations are creating, other issues. A lot of us having to go apply for passports, right? Make sure that we have that paperwork updated. And so, guess who handles the passports? The State Department.
Yeah.
So now the State Department is getting visa applications from abroad. It's getting passport requests from inside the country. And now it's getting basically complained at by every single other politician that might want the World Cup to be more successful. So that State Department is not hiring more people. They're falling behind on those applications, and it's just creating more and more of a backlog. So that's all to say, póngalo de esta manera. It's like the drive-thru at McDonald's getting backed up, and you're not bringing more staff to go, cook the burgers and make the fries. That's what's basically what's happening here in DC.
Damn, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
One of the things that caught my eye and it made me a little worried for the World Cup is they changed the policy where like basically no area is a safe space. They could technically deport anybody from like by a school, close to a school, close to a church, and they're basically saying that they're gonna keep. It's not gonna be like his first 2 months in office. They're gonna deport people. They're saying that they're gonna do it for the whole 4 years. Is there a scenario where they don't understand the magnitude of the World Cup and they're maybe a raid people going to the stadiums, to the games? You think that could be a possibility, and how bad of a stain would that be for an event so big as the World Cup?
Put it this way. I've been thinking about this a lot. We were complaining about how Qatar mistreated the migrants. Rightfully, right?
Obviously. Yeah.
But then we turn around here and it's like, no, we got to deport all from here. Right?
Yeah.
Think about that, right? It would really be a bad stain on the U.S. if a raid, happened like right after a game, or not even at a game, at a watch party.
Something, yeah.
At a watch party. And then they end up catching people that were here perfectly legal, watching the game. And watch they catch no undocumented person. Póngale así ese escenario.
Yeah.
They catch no one that's like undocumented, and they arrest a bunch of people that were here legally to fly in and have their tourist visa. Citizens, residentes. O sea, un madrazo ahí tremendo.
Yeah.
That's what I've been trying to, flag for people, and a lot of people have been flagging this. You would hope, or maybe you would hope that the business side of Trump kind of kicks in. He's like, all right, let these people spend
seize the
money.
Dollar bills. Yeah, seize the dollar bills. Exactly.
Yeah, and then stop the raids then?
Yeah.
Pero no sé, hermano. So my only real advice there is always carry your identification, right? You're a citizen. Carry that extra passport. Just carry it on you. Like, unfortunately, it's messed up. I'm not saying it's the time we live in, and we're just gonna have to protect ourselves. Okay? Let family, let friends know where you're going. Go in a group. I would say that is even more important. Go in a group, because then as a group you can push back if such a situation happens. Si vienes de otro país, from Latin America, from other place, carry all your documentation. Again, carry your ticket with you. It might be on the phone, but like if they develop an app like they did in Qatar, show them, hey, I am here for this game. Like, and I know that's not a proof of a visa, but the more you shove in front of these people to like make it like, I don't want to get in trouble like that.
Yeah.
Then that's how we protect ourselves from this situation. Pero it sucks that you even have to ask that question, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about it. It's crazy. Like, it should be. Like the way I was thinking about it is like this. It's good. Yeah, it's gonna be the biggest party in the history of the world. It's gonna be like the coolest month ever. But now we're thinking about stuff like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, another thought that I've been popping in my head lately. We've talked about the home field advantage that Latin America is gonna have. Like we saw it in the Copa America.
Mhm.
But I know you're on TikTok, you're on social media. I feel I don't know. I can't speak on you, but I feel like you've seen the videos on how empty grocery stores are, and Latino places like their third places where they go hang out and stuff.
Yeah.
Could you see these mass deportations keeping a lot of fans from even going to the World Cup? Like they might just think of it like this is dangerous. This is let me not put myself in that spot. Like yeah, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, but
Yeah.
I want to be safe and just be tucked in.
It's totally possible. And again, another part, when a lot of people say like, "Oh, you shouldn't mix politics in sport," hermano, I didn't want to do this.
Yeah, there's no way.
Like,
There's no.
I'm having to talk about like deportations here because, like you said, it's creating these environments of fear and concern in our community. Sería una desgracia for sure. Like
Yeah,
if all of these raids are going to create a situation where like, tú imaginas like in Miami. Like
yeah,
Miami wouldn't be a party town because everyone's afraid of a freaking ice raid. Like, come on, man. Like,
yeah,
I see nos jodimos el mundial así fácil, and if anything, that would be the reason for a lot of the fans to go to Mexico and Canada, enjoy those 26 games there, and
yeah,
then say, you know what, US, not this time.
yeah.
Y'all need to fix your own house. No vamos a ir para allá. It's totally possible. I know that for me, I'm even struggling with this, right? Because I'm trying to help people go to this World Cup, right? If they really want to. But it's almost like I'm having to be honest with people. Like, look, this is the reality now. A lot of people are like, oh, but you're just deporting the criminals, or like, oh, you're overreacting. It's like, no, 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 no. We are not overreacting. This is really what's going on. And in many ways, we are with our platforms have to protect our community. And if we're not
Right.
being honest about, es posible que la pinche migra está allá afuera y no van
Yeah.
a joder el día. Like if we're not honest about that, then we're doing a disservice to our community.
Yeah.
Facts.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and it's something natural to think about too, like with everything that we're seeing.
Exactly.
Um, but yeah, I know you have a lot of information. So, is there any switching topics a little bit to the lighter side of the World Cup?
Yeah, of course.
Any important dates that people should keep an eye on going as we get to day
Yeah.
400, day 300?
300, eso, 200 y ahí para adelante. So yeah, so for if y'all want to get the regular tickets, I'm gonna make the difference between regular versus hospitality in a second. But the regular tickets, Vancouver leaked in their Instagram that they're going on sale late 2025. That's what it said on the post, late 2025. It's probably not December because that's probably the World Cup draw, probably, unless they're gonna wait for that intercontinental playoff and wait for all four teams. I don't know, maybe.
Maybe.
Um, yeah, it's possible. So more than likely it's October or November. And this is, and I did several YouTube videos on this actually. Last year I made one where I said, well, for Qatar, it was 9 months ahead before that they sold tickets. Was it 9? I believe it was 11. It might have been 11, excuse me. 11 or 9. But then Russia was also either 11 or 9 months before the start of the World Cup. So if you just did that math, it would have been August. So I predicted
Yeah.
August. However, if it is October, then that's 9 months,
9 months.
right? August being 11, October being 9 months. So pay attention for that, right? The first regular tickets, and that's probably going to be an application through FIFA, not through Ticketmaster. I know this is confusing because for the Club World Cup,
Hopefully not through Ticketmaster.
right, hopefully. For the Club World Cup, FIFA,
Yeah.
I think it's because FIFA didn't properly organize this tournament. They said, screw it, we'll go with Ticketmaster. And we could talk about, how what I think about Ticketmaster in a bit later, but they went with Ticketmaster. But for the World Cup, there's no tickets on sale. Do not buy from StubHub. Do not buy from Vista because they're selling it. They're doing
Yeah.
those Instagram ads, and it's like, yo, do not get those. More than likely, FIFA selling them. Okay? So wait for FIFA's notification on that. For the hospitality packages, they're going on sale right now. They're talking to the season ticket holders first. You can reach out to On Location if you got 20K in the bank and you're ready to drop a $4,000 deposit on one of
Yeah.
these packages
Yeah.
if you want.
There's a huge
Per
market.
game, Yeah,
Yeah.
no. Ahora, for a lot of people, it's expensive, and I totally get that. But maybe, and it might sound crazy, but hear me out. It's not that bad of a price compared to the Super Bowl. Now, I just read an article today that said that the New Orleans Super Bowl this year, the tickets are a bit cheaper. They're like at $5,000, but those are not hospitality seats at the
Right,
Super
right,
Bowl.
right. It's one.
Vaya en el gallinero. That's up there, nosebleeds.
Yeah.
Okay. And mind you,
Yeah.
and they were saying, well, yeah, the stadium's bigger, so there's more tickets, so maybe that's why the price went down. But also, not as many hotels, not as many flights to New Orleans, so that you're gonna lose money there, right?
Yeah.
But if you think about it, okay, I just want people to think about it like this: if you want the cheap tickets, totally understand. But then, say you don't get that ticket to Mexico, don't go to StubHub and pay $2,000 para el gallinero when you could have paid $2,000 and gotten a hospitality ticket confirmed right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So
Instead of
stick to your budget. Yeah, like stick to your budget. Like don't panic buy. That's what I don't want people to do is panic buy, right? Oh no, hospitality is too expensive. Oh no, that's what bougie people. No consiguen la boleta in the application and then they freak out. They go, they ask fulano on the corner and then they buy a sketchy ticket for $2K. It's like, well, then you could have just bought the hospitality and got a champagne
exactly.
along for the game. Like, do that. So
Yeah.
I just want people to understand that, right? Now, for me, I'm not looking to buy one of the packages. I want a single game. I want to do at least, hopefully, si Dios quiere, one game hospitality. I want to have a nice VIP experience.
Yeah.
I want to
I
do
know
it.
you fly first class sometimes. Business.
Yeah,
I see you.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah. You
for
want
some
that?
of y'all that this is the first time y'all watching,
Yeah.
me here on the show. I've flown first class around the world, business class, and it's a good time because I use my points and miles.
Yeah.
So in this instance, yeah, I want to ball out in one of the games. That's kind of one of the goals. I wish I would have done it in Qatar. I wish for sure I would have done it in Qatar.
Yeah. That would have been
But
a
yeah,
good
so
time.
I would say that. I would say that póngale ojo, to that. Okay, it fits your budget. Make sure that you're saving as much money as possible. And by the way, it's not too late to save money. Right now, I only have $500 saved. I had $6,000 saved, but I decided to pay off my student loans. So I was like,
Never a bad thing. Never a bad thing.
never a bad thing. Never a bad thing. That's it was for that as opposed to like, I broke my arm or cualquier cosa así, right?
O una peda.
Eso. Yeah. Like, oye, what happened to that credit card?
Yeah, whoa, hold up. We got a table where?
Exactly. So at least there's still time. But yeah, you're going to have to get the game plan set up for yourself. So that would be my only thing. It's just get your plan in now and save up as much money as possible.
So, yeah, save your money, guys. But one question that I have, maybe others that are listening will have is, so it's confirmed that you'll be able to resell your ticket? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what I'm understanding with StubHub and all that?
So that's the thing, right? Buying it through FIFA's going to have its own resale platform as well that you can sell the ticket. Mm-hmm. The hospitality ones, I'm not sure. I'm actually trying to get in touch with On Location to actually give me information, on all the stadiums and like what's the ticket policies and whatnot. I don't see them wanting to let people resell hospitality packages because it's like they want to make the money. Totally makes sense. Like at that point. But in terms of resale, again, I don't know what FIFA's deal. I don't know how that's going to work with the World Cup because, I mean, obviously they're allowing it for the Club World Cup. And if you look at those prices, yeah, for the Real Madrid, for the Inter Miami, no, pues.
Yeah. Good luck.
La mano. No jodan. Van a cobrar 300 y pico horas to go. I mean, it's not that Al Ali is bad. I really do think that Inter Miami group, by the way, the worst group Inter Miami could have gotten. You got three teams. We'll come back to the tickets in 2 seconds, but you got three teams that are going to bring their full A squad.
Yeah.
They're going to bring everybody. They're not bringing. I wish they would have had Chelsea and Dortmund. Like, what is it? I wish they would have gotten 2 European clubs because at least they would have started their B players. No, pero a la Liga not. Bro, that's the best team in Africa. They're going to come in all wanting to win this thing.
Yeah, it's going to be their showcase.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Porto! Like, come on, bro. All these like, and not even like Porto's gonna want to win this thing too. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
no, no salió el peor grupo ahí. Anyway, that's Inter Miami. Punto is that we don't know about the resale of the tickets, but I wouldn't, and this is just my personal preference. I wouldn't look at the World Cup in 26 as a money making opportunity with your tickets. I don't know what them FIFA attorneys are cooking. That's all I'm gonna
I
say.
hope you're right. Yes. I mean, if because you said in Qatar you couldn't resell it, right? You had to give it back to them. In no
Well, so
sense.
I mean, were there people that were reselling it? Yes, at their own risk.
Yeah.
That's what people would tell me. I'm like, hey, I didn't see anything. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want the Qataris calling me like,
Yeah.
hey, who resold tickets? No.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that. But apparently they were able to resell tickets over there and everything. Okay.
Oh,
Is it going
and
to
they'll
be
for
easier
sure be
here?
able to. Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I
Now, do I
free market.
support that? Yeah, exactly. Right. Free market. But do I support it? No, because just as I was saying with the hospitality tickets, you might panic buy and you might end up paying more for a 400 level seat. And then instead, you're like, over here, you could have 9 months before secured your ticket and had a much better game day experience.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Do not panic buy, because then you're kind of messing up your own budget. You're messing up your own game plan for the World Cup.
So you've seen the hospitality packages. How much are those going for again?
Let me get my notes out here because they are expensive. So, for example, for Dallas? Where are my notes here? Let's
Dallas,
just say
that's expensive.
For Dallas. Yeah, so I got the prices here for Dallas, I think. So for Dallas, okay, no, hold on. I'm going to have to look at this on my phone. So there's some quick price checks here.
No
Here
pressure. The power editing, we won't even see this.
Yeah, right? So for Dallas, if you want the suite, with 14 of your friends' family, for the 4-match package, $162,000 for 4 games. You divide that by 15. Right, divide that by 15 people, because then everyone's got a picture, right?
And then divided by 4.
And then divided by 4. I think that came about to $2,500 per game. Okay, so you see how you did it? Wait a minute. What do I get with that suite? You get dedicated chef, dedicated bartending service. You get the best drinks. You get access to your seat from your suite. So, like, you open the door, you go right straight to your seat, and it's nice and comfort. You get pre-game 3 hours before and post-game 2 hours after is what I saw.
Damn, you're not gonna be outside with the raza. You're gonna be getting inside of the stadium. That's okay. That's different. That's kind of nice. That's kind of nice,
right? So, o sea, no pica tanto el bolsillo. It's like, hey, you know what? This is four cookouts.
Yeah.
Pero con Hennessy
y
con un lamb shank ahí al ladito. O
sea,
So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying, that you got to pay attention to, okay, if you're willing to drop $2,500 for a game, then why are you not thinking hospitality? Right. Now, I get it. Maybe the package is too much. Maybe you wait till the single game hospitality packages come out, right? And you say to yourself, well, then I might as well go that way, right? For the games that you don't get tickets, right? Maybe you do that. So that's all I'm saying, man. It's like, comparatively speaking, and even if you compare it to the Super Bowl, right? That's why I made that comparison with the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. Yeah.
Not that bad. And this is me. I'm not selling things for on location or anything like that. I want to make that disclaimer. I'm not trying to. I don't get like extra, kick or platita y al lado. I don't get that right now.
Yeah.
Pero,
hopefully in the future.
Money wise, yeah, right. Ojalá, hey, on location, hit me up, bro. But I would say right now, objectively speaking, it's not that bad if you look at it per game and for what you get. Obviously, that means you better go in there and drink, not too much, but drink, get your drink on, get your food on.
Get your, stay after, get the...
Hey, yo, Infantino, say hi to Infantino, while you at it. you got to make the most of that experience.
Make sure to post it on your Instagram, on the
Eso,
ground, on the TikTok if it's still there.
Yeah, right. If TikTok is still there.
And obviously this is from the, like, we're talking 2,500 for a World Cup, greatest event in the history. Obviously 25, that might be like people's whole month, you know. So with the context of yeah, that's not terrible. I wonder if you said it was like that was 12 people for that group.
For 15 people in that group, 15. Yeah.
I wonder if they lock you in at 15 people, or can you get like, can you sub people in? Could it be like a group of 20 and like maybe I don't know how that works.
I think that would have to be more specific with them, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of ideas.
Yeah. For example, maybe you don't want the suite, but the other product is the pitch side, which is like the next best one. For the 4-match package in Dallas is $12,400 per person. Again, you divide that by 4. That's about, $2,800. Okay, you're paying higher, but that's because it's less games and it's by yourself, right? But again, it's all depending on your budget. That's why I said in my recent video, if you want the guaranteed way in to the Mexico games, it is through hospitality. Yeah, and right now the only package that they're selling for the Mexico Follow Your Team series is the pavilion package, which to me it didn't look as impressive. It's not as it feels more like a hangout section package. It's not as impressive. 9,595 per person, so that's like about 2,100 per game. No, but 2,600 per game por ahí.
Yeah.
Pero como te digo, the Mexico tickets are going to be like one of the most sought after. If you want guarantee, this is the way you guarantee yourself in. But again, you have to make that math for yourself. You're basically saying, I'm dropping $10K to watch Mexico. I have to fly to Mexico and follow Mexico.
Which is if you're, that'd be fun.
You're adding a little bit more money there. But, if you don't got family in Mexico, I would assume you would have family in Mexico.
Yeah.
Pregúntales if you can sleep in the couch, because that's how you can get the only money from all that travel that you're doing there.
Yeah, I wonder how they'll feel if they let you sleep in the couch and you're the one going to the game, not them.
Imagínate. Eso.
Yeah, let me sleep in your couch, but I only got a ticket for me.
Eso.
That might be a little awkward. Excuse my ignorance, but is there gonna be like are Americans for America or for the U.S. or are Mexicans for Mexico and Canadians for Canada gonna have maybe a slight, higher boarding group, for better lack of terms, to get their tickets? Or is everyone going to be same boarding group one?
So nothing yet from FIFA, but if we go by previous World Cups, Qataris had first dibs, Russians had first dibs, so you assume that Americans, Canadians, and Mexicans are going to have first dibs.
Well, hopefully,
but we don't know yet.
Yeah,
we don't know yet.
And that goes by passport, right?
I'm also assuming it's by passport
or by residence.
Sí, o sea, I was assuming it's by passport, pero no sé. But that's kind of like the one document that everybody uses.
Yeah.
To verify. True. So that's why I told people get passports early on.
I need to get my Mexico passport, man.
And I don't know if that gives you an advantage too, también. I know a lot of people ask me, oye, soy doble, me da ventaja. I don't know. FIFA hasn't said that yet either.
Damn, hey, well, they better start talking because it's 500 days later.
I agree. I totally agree with you. This process has been a little bit slow, in my opinion.
They've been like dragging their feet on this. I feel like last time you were on the pod, which was last year, I feel like we still have a lot of similar questions, and we're 500 days out. I'm getting a little deja vu, bro. Yeah, nice videos, nice good editing on the social medias, but where's the information?
You can drop 10K. That's about as far as we can go. 10K right now.
We're gonna take your money. That's all we know. God damn. Wow. But you still have what was your plan? I know you got featured on, was it Wall Street?
Yeah, the Wall Street Journal. Yeah.
Is that plan still? How's that plan going?
Yeah, so it's still the aspiration of the 16 cities. 16 matches. I don't know. I mean, obviamente part of it is the money.
We have getting the ticket.
And getting the ticket. maybe the travel won't be as easy just because of all what's going on right now. También. I obviously want to go to one of the Colombia matches, and we gotta see what's up with that. I will say this in terms of like potentially how many games I see myself going right now.
Yeah,
probably 6. Like I can probably swing 6 to 8 cities right now, which is actually quite a lot.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it's like I'm aiming for a whole 16. If I can get half, that'd be just as impressive. In part because I have enough Amtrak points right now to go to Philadelphia, to Newark, to Boston from DC. So I have enough for that. I have enough Amtrak points to get me from Vancouver to Seattle or Seattle, Vancouver. So that's already 5 cities. And relatively speaking, it's if I book them on time, I can go to Atlanta and Miami from here, and to Toronto. Not too expensive. Maybe even
benefits of being on the East Coast.
Benefits of being on the East Coast. Exactly. So what? That gave me 5, 6, 7, 8. There's my 8 cities right there.
There you go.
So that leaves me California. That leaves me California. With San Francisco, LA, Kansas City, and then Texas, Mexico.
Right.
So, but I would assume we're gonna go to Mexico porque mi esposa Lori, she's Mexicana. She's gonna want to go there.
Happy wife, happy life.
Exactly. So we're definitely gonna be at some point in Mexico. So look at that. I might be able to swing it.
Yeah,
I might be able to swing it. So right now I'm giving myself like a maybe 60% chance I can do all 16 cities. I can 100% tell you I can do at least 5, 6 cities.
There you go.
So that's cool. Honestly.
With the look of the draw, of course. I don't know how they're gonna give the tickets out. It might be a mute point. You might be on the queue and you're the 200,000 person on queue.
Exactly, right? Yes, we'll see. Ojalá, and I made a YouTube video about this. I hope Colombia gets drawn into Group I. I remember if I remember the video correctly, because Group I, all their games are up here in the Northeast: Philadelphia, Newark, Boston, Toronto. Right. So I'm hoping that Colombia gets there. So then, boom, I me voy en el tren, tranquilito, sin ningún problema, hermano.
Yep. I know it's a draw, but I mean, I feel like FIFA would be ecstatic to have them in like the Miami group, that area.
Or at least in that area, yeah. Or at least I forgot which of the groups were, but I did make a YouTube video breaking down the groups by the city location, and so some groups are better than others. I will say that there's one group that's absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
for your team to land on.
Their pod, right? They have like weird pods.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just set them up in the pod system that I had set like a gazillion times.
Yeah.
Instead, like even for the Mexico group, they gave Mexico a cheat code because the second match day, cuando Mexico va a jugar en Guadalajara, the other 2 teams have to go to Atlanta.
Yeah, get that travel. Travel.
So they make them travel, and then for match day 3, they come back to Monterrey y Ciudad de Mexico. So it's like, what? You could have just kept them in Mexico the entire time.
Yeah.
Made no sense.
They're trying to get Mexico. Hey.
Cualquier ventaja que le pueden agregar a Mexico, hermano, that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Hey, shout out.
All to Mexico. Shout out to Mexico, bro.
Where's the wife?
Hey,
the wife listening?
we need you to make it, though. We need y'all to make it far, bro. Now I'm kind of more cheering for Mexico than the U.S. right now. I'm like, we need that shit. We need that USA-Mexico showdown, bro, in the quarters, bro.
Oh, my God. That'll feed families, as they like to say.
Oh, my God. That would be so bad.
Oh man, I love talking about the World Cup. I mean, you probably get giddy every day since you talk about the World Cup almost every single day. I think about it. I think about it almost every day, but I don't talk about it every day.
Yeah.
But talking about it just gets me so pumped, man. Like I 500 days, I'm juiced right now talking.
Yeah, man. No, absolutely. It's one of the things that is going to give us happiness and hope moving forward. And it's gonna be one of those opportunities where we can show, to ourselves more than anybody else, more to ourselves, like, this is what the world can be when we're all just kind of chilling and watching just soccer.
Kumbaya, a little kumbaya, just kicking it back. Chilling. Yeah. But the world event that is happening here this year, Club World Cup, what are your plans for that? Any plans?
So if anything, it's kind of like, Inter Miami's down there. I do find it weird that they're making Inter Miami play in Atlanta against Porto. It's like the Sounders got all 3 games at home, and you making Miami not play in Miami. That made no sense whatsoever. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna probably go to one or two of the games here in DC. I mean, hey, I was not expecting DC to host any games. So I'm like, hey, 25 minutes away from me. Cool. Yeah. I'll go see Al Ain versus Wydad. Sure. Yeah. Al Ain, they're from Abu Dhabi. I'm cool with the Emirates.
Make some content. Never heard.
I will make content about that. If anything, what I want to do is on one of the match days, Philadelphia's hosting the game and DC's hosting the game on the same day. So I want to plan a Amtrak trip up to Philly, watch that game, come back to DC, watch the DC game that night. That's one of my plans for the Club World Cup.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
To show people like, hey, this is how you would do Amtrak to watch 2 games in one day. Type of prepared situation. And earn me Amtrak points. But I have to book all that. I just have not gotten around to it.
Right.
If the opportunity shows up, I'll make the fly out to Seattle. I gotta go see my goddaughter anyway every 3-4 months. Anyway, if the opportunity presents itself, I'll go to Seattle. Hopefully, catch one of those games. But it is exciting to see that almost all those tickets are sold out for the Sounders matches. That's as a fan of MLS and of the Sounders and of just if there's one good MLS team for the U.S. to be represented, is the Sounders. I feel
they have the culture too.
And they got the culture. That whole stadium is going to be rocking for those games. Might they lose? Sure. But that's kind of almost not the point. It's more important that the fans show out.
The fans show out. The people see it on TV. Like, wow, this is an American team?
Yeah, it's an American team. Oh, they're going to look at all these fans, you know?
What?
This is crazy, Seattle. And it's obviously, if anything, great preparation for Seattle for the World Cup.
Yeah.
They get 6 games for free, for free compared to, Miami sure gets prepared and everything, but Seattle got these games that they were not expecting to have, right? By virtue of the Sounders making it, a couple of years ago. Now they get these games to really test, their infrastructure, all that stuff.
Hospitality, Miami, structure, all of that.
Yeah. Miami obviously, all those Miami get these games, but then I was very surprised that, for example, the cities that they picked. I mean, I was surprised at Nashville. I was surprised at Cincinnati. I was surprised Charlotte. I was like, okay, so if we look back from Copa America to World Cup and even some of these other tournaments, Kansas City to get Copa America games. Boston, nada of preparations.
Yeah.
Toronto, nothing for preparations. Right. Vancouver's hosting Gold Cup matches for crying out loud for Canada. Yeah. Vancouver's getting ready.
Yeah.
But not Toronto, not Boston. And Y los de México, ¿qué? I know Azteca's getting renovated, pero, Guadalajara and Monterrey.
Right there. Yeah, Monterrey's right there.
They could have put some Gold Cup games there in Monterrey and Guadalajara just to give them a couple preparation games. And no lo hicieron.
No, nothing.
Yeah, but coming back to the Gold Cup, though, that's kind of the plan there. To me, I'm not really a club person, obvio. Más del Mundial. But I recognize that a lot of people want to see their club teams. Totally get it. I just hope that people realize that they might not see their favorite players start those games.
Yeah.
They're saying, they'll come after me. Mbappe might not start every game. He might start the final.
Yeah. No, that's how it is. And then, players have been outspoken about how long the calendar is. So, a lot of players, most players were not happy about this longer Club World Cup. So
no.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Yeah.
Y se les entiende. Claro que es un calendario largo.
Yeah. And then now they're adding across the Atlantic and from or Pacific, wherever you're coming from.
Yeah.
It's a long trip.
Por eso they put all those games on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Eso fue Real Madrid saying we need to be put in the East Coast.
Yeah.
You're not putting us. That's why when they did the draw, that's why they didn't announce the schedule, people. There was a reason for that. They wanted to put the groups together, and then they were like, "All right, we'll let you know which team is playing."
We're gonna take care of some teams.
We're gonna take care of some teams. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was all Real Madrid. I can guarantee you, those were the backroom conversations. Perez was like, "You're putting us on the East Coast. You're not making us travel, or this tournament doesn't happen."
Or we're sending La Castilla team.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. ¿Y qué pasó? Infantino had to let it happen.
We're gonna send Zidane's kid's nephew.
Yeah, we're sending you the crappiest Real Madrid you could ever imagine if you do not cope with our demand. And that's also why New York got so many games. That's why New York's hosting both semifinals and the final.
That makes sense.
And that's why if you look at the schedule, it's like, man, this is all East Coast, or this is kind of going one direction. Yeah, they want to reduce the travel as much as possible.
That makes sense. Well, one last topic before you leave, Danny. As a Colombian fan, you have one huge talisman these last few years. Had a lot of success in the 2014 World Cup, and has been struggling for playing time lately. Had a great Copa America last year, and now he plays in Mexico with León. I don't expect you to know León's starting 11, but with what you know about Liga MX, do you think that'll be sufficient for him to go into the World Cup with form? I know he didn't get that much playing time in Spain. What do you think? What are your thoughts? What was your initial impressions when you heard, oh my God, James is going to Liga MX?
I thought it was better than him going to El Junior de Barranquilla, because I think Liga MX is better than the Colombian league. What a miss by MLS.
Yeah.
How the hell does NYCFC not go for him? Like, I'm like, bro, you would have gotten Queens, everybody there for those games. Are you kidding me?
And they're building a new stadium. Like, hype it up.
Are you kidding me, MLS? So, and then, okay, for some reason, Rayo kind of couldn't get him into the team. I don't know how. And then before that, he was in Qatar, I think he was.
Yeah.
Look, man, point is this. Ese pone esta camiseta is like, bro, he gets Superman powers, whatever happens, bro, but pelea por la camiseta.
He loves it.
I need James to not get injured.
Yeah.
And it's time León. That's México, por favor, protégeme al hermano. No me le vayan a meterle
la pierna.
La pierna ahí. Cuídalo, porfa. No, cuídalo, por favor. No lo vayan a joder. That's all I'm asking of Liga MX, all right? And if he doesn't get a lot of playtime, look, it's obviously not affecting him in the national team.
Right.
He's one of those weird players. Like, I don't know who else can say that, like, has had that type of career. Like, yeah, I can't really tell. Like, Gareth Bale, not really, because like I mean, he kind of like towards the end.
Yeah.
You know,
he
maybe
was still do good with Wales. Yeah, but
like he carried Wales, but wasn't doing good with the clubs. But that was barely. But like this is almost his entire career.
Yeah,
it's weird. I look, man. He just loves playing for Colombia. I don't know what to tell you, man. And maybe that's kind of one of those like few players that's like, I will bleed for the country and not for any of these clubs. Just pay me whatever I'll train, and that's it.
Yeah.
So that's really how I see it. I think it's a overall good move by León. You have a Copa America, the Copa America MVP. Just please don't hurt him. Like honestly, just don't hurt him.
I could also see some Mexicans starting to root for Colombia more in the World Cup if he does good with León.
No, pues sería chévere.
León is a pretty big club.
Somos países hermanos. I know we got a lot of things in common. Believe it or not, even when I got married with my wife, I was like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Y'all got a lot in common with us.
yeah.
But yeah, man. I overall, I think that's more important. It's more important for James to stay healthy than it is for him to play.
Yeah,
we take care of him in Colombia. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, he locks in. He definitely locks in every time he puts on that jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, but I do think from what I've seen of Liga MX and the teams that get like a big star, they treat him well. And from the videos I've seen, from like how he gets into his like Escalade or something after the game, and like paparazzi's just going crazy, and everyone is like loving him, loving his press. Even like players are like shaking his hand and stuff.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna have a good time.
De pronto una cosa también que maybe we haven't talked about is cultura. Maybe he just didn't fit in Madrid and
European culture.
in Doha. Can we not say that?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
that
totally
makes
possible. It's otra cosa estar en Europa o en otra parte del mundo y eres de Latinoamérica.
yeah,
De
that is
ahí.
true. That is true.
Es una cosa que uno dice, bueno, de pronto el hermano le gusta aquí Latinoamérica y va a estar bien en México. He would have been fine in Colombia too. I'm not saying
Yeah,
it would have
yeah,
been a terrible move if he had gone back to junior.
yeah,
No, if
yeah,
anything, he would have even been closer to home.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
that would have made it even better for him. Pero next best bet was Mexico. Next best would have been MLS, but
yeah, yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah,
I think he's fine. I think he's fine.
there you go. There you go. That would be a good one. It'll be good. It'll be good for him. I think it'll be good
Yeah,
for him. I think from the videos I've seen, and he already scored his first goal. And it looks like his teammates love him. I think
yeah,
he's gonna have a good time in Mexico.
yeah.
Well, Danny, it's been a pleasure to have you in the pod again.
Thank
Second
you.
time, 500 days to the World Cup. Go ahead and shout out your socials. You have any merch? I've been waiting on the merch, man.
So I do have my website, TravelFutbolFan.com.
Yeah.
I do have shirts on sale. I do have my budget spreadsheet on sale. For those of y'all that oh man, I don't know how to organize my money or anything. If you're good with Excel, I do have a spreadsheet there that you can purchase. You can also book my consultations if you're trying to think about, hey, if I want to get more in depth about using travel points and miles. I want to save all that money that you save for Qatar. Cool, book a consultation with me. But yeah, you can find me on all my socials on TikTok, Blue Sky, YouTube, and Instagram at TravelFutbolFan. Obviously, we don't know how much longer we have with TikTok, so maybe YouTube might be the best way forward. I'm able to break down some of this stuff in greater detail on YouTube, admittedly, than on TikTok, because trying to explain this stuff in 1 minute and a half, bro, difícil, hermano. Pero bueno, that's where you can find me on the socials. And again, my website, TravelFutbolFan.com. I am looking into releasing a newsletter, which would be free, but you're going to get a whole bunch of extra, little tidbits here and there. So I'm working on it right now because I got a collaboration that I'm cooking up with a very popular soccer magazine, 41 magazine. We're building city guides for all of the host cities of the Club World Cup and Gold Cup. So we're collecting all that information together, and we're going to basically hand out city guides for people that are registered to the 41 Mags newsletter. That's why I'm looking to build my own as well. So in that way, we can all be
get that
in
traffic.
Yeah, get that traffic, get those emails going. So
people get
we're bringing back emails, man. We're bringing back emails because, that time might go away and Mark Zuckerberg spying a little too much on us. So, we got to go back to email.
Again. Once again, thank you, Danny. Thank you for your time.
Muchas gracias.